NBC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Hockey League.
The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the game's most refreshing beer. And by Honda, official vehicle of the National Hockey League. Let's take a look at tonight's starting goalies presented by Honda. And for the home team Buffalo Sabres, it was 2 weeks ago tonight in a game here on NBCSN. Jonas Enroth replaced Michael Neuwirth at the end of the first period against the San Jose Sharks. He's played every minute since then. He's been red hot as you take a look at his overall season numbers. And it will be Evgeny Nabokov getting his 6th start of the season for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And there is Ted Nolan, the head coach of the Buffalo Sabres, who told us this morning the team has played hard most of the year. They're just starting to get some breaks. They're starting to get some goaltending. Dave Strader along with our man inside the glass, Brian Engblom. And Brian, it certainly helps when you're preaching a certain message and you finally start to get some results. 5 wins in their last 6, including a sweep of the Montreal Canadiens.
The confidence level in the room this morning was completely different than it was 3 and 4 weeks ago.
The Lightning again played last night at Madison Square Garden. Scored 3 goals in the third to defeat the Rangers for the 3rd time in the last 15 days. The Sabres have not played since Saturday night, the second game of the home-and-home against Montreal. Kucherov, number 86, tumbled to the ice as he tried to play it along the boards. He gets back up now to move it along for Matt Carle, who had a pretty goal last night in the win over the Rangers. Palat sends it ahead to Tyler Johnson. This is that second line that we talked about at the top. In the pass to Kucherov is offside, but at the same time, Brian, the referee in the Buffalo zone was indicating an interference penalty.
Yeah, Kucherov interfering with the defenseman at the blue line there. He tried to take a backwards, or the inside track, shall we say, in along the blue line, and he gets nailed for interference. So early on here, the Buffalo Sabres, John Cooper scratching his head on that one. Watch Kucherov right at the blue line, right there. Bumps into Ristolainen. Draws the 2-minute penalty.
Now Kucherov looking up at the replay on the big board. And a power play here presented by Craftsman for the Buffalo Sabres, who have scored only 5 power play goals all season. 2 of them, though, in their last 6 games.
Yeah, if they can ever get this power play going, because they are starting to create a little bit of offense, and in large part because they're not spending nearly as much time in their own end, getting worn out, and then just getting the puck down to the other end of the ice and changing.
Boy, a guy they really like to get going is out on the ice right now, number 19, Cody Hudson. Just a goal and an assist on the season as Josh Georges hands it off. Now Gianta, side of the net for Stewart. Hands it back to Gianta, out to the line. Zadorov hands it back to Gianta for a screen shot that misses on the stick side of Evgeny Nabokov, who has not played since a couple of weeks ago in Long Island against his former team in a similar situation. Tampa Bay coming off a win at Madison Square Garden, playing against a rested team as the Josh Georges blast is blocked out in the faceoff circle. Recovered now by Stewart. Sends it back to the right point. Here is Georges with it now. He slides it across to the front of the net. High tip goes wide. Now Gianta for Stewart. Stewart hands it back to the corner. Gianta, centering attempt there, hit the skate of Victor Hedman, who's been terrific since coming back into the lineup, and the Lightning able to send it down the ice.
The Lightning PK is not that great this year. They are 18th. They're under 80%, and usually that's at least the number you want to be at. And they're pretty passive inside their own zone there. So Buffalo's going to get some time to move the puck around. Most good penalty kills you see these days are very aggressive. It's when you move on the puck carrier that makes all the difference, though.
Jason Garrison, number 5, getting some help down deep on the penalty kill from Palat. And now the puck skated out by Johnson, number 9. Across the line, the shorthanded Lightning. And Johnson decides to just play it back for Carle. And the Lightning killing a little bit of time here, shorthanded. Early in this contest, and Carle will wrap it along behind Enroth. Picked up on the far side by Palat. Sent to the side of the net, redirected out to the near side for Carle. As the Lightning controlling the puck here.
And you're going to see a lot of that from that Johnson line. There was Johnson and Palat killing penalties there, and they were aggressive. They knew their teammate was coming out on the ice there. They did a terrific job controlling the puck against the Rangers.
Now Ennis put it right into the feet of Nabokov. A smart play there. He almost caught Nabokov cheating off that near side goalpost as Ennis slides it across now. Shot to the net. It's into the glove of Nabokov. He will hold it there.
It was a smart play by Tyler Ennis on that last rush. He's been shifted to the wing over the last few games after playing center pretty well all last year and earlier this year. He looks into the middle of the ice and it just tries to dump it. He was going for a little bit of a tip there. Bergensen was going to the net. Maybe a little deflection might have worked, and Nabokov had to do a good job there. Now, Tyler Ennis, when he first moved to the wing, and look, we were in here a couple of weeks ago, Dave. I think that was his first game on wing. He didn't have the puck quite as much, but apparently the last couple of games, he has a lot more. He's making the adjustment, and a lot of things are easier for him, not as many defensive responsibilities on the wing.
Tyler Myers now looking for a shooting lane. It was blocked by Killorn. It's the top line for Tampa Bay of Alex Killorn, Steven Stamkos, and Wyatt Callahan out against the Torrey Mitchell, Brian Giunta, and Brian Flynn line for the Buffalo Sabres. Now Killorn tries to jam it across. Picked up by Gudas at center ice, Brian, and he dumps it back into the Buffalo zone.
That was just Josh Georges getting welcomed back into the lineup. Georges had missed the last 7 games with a bad knee. Callahan giving him a pretty good ride right here at center ice.
Now Torrey Mitchell dumps it in wide of the Tampa Bay goal. Pretty good job by the Sabres there against that top line of Tampa. As this puck rolls in wide of Enroth, it will be icing against the Lightning.
Well, Callahan and Georges are going to see a lot of each other. Georges back in the lineup. He's with Tyler Myers, and they're going to play against the top line. Callahan sending a little message. He knows he's going to see Georges. He knows that anytime Georges had the chance to hit Ryan Callahan, it's going to come back the other way around. Callahan gets the first good lick in there. Good hit.
Buffalo wins the draw from Cody Hodgson. Hodgson playing on a line right now with Marcus Foligno. And Chris Stewart, as a shot here is deflected up on the netting, and out of play as Hedman and Weber come together and have a little bit of a conversation.
Victor Hedman back in the lineup. That's his 3rd game back. He had 3 points last night against the New York Rangers. 10 points in 7 games for this season. He had a broken finger, and he's just back in the lineup now. What a big difference he makes. He produces so many points, and he's a big presence in his own zone as well.
And playing with Anton Stralman, who John Cooper, the coach of the Lightning, couldn't say enough good things about Stralman this morning. There was a little bit of concern that Stralman may not be able to go tonight, as Tyler Myers takes it deep into the Tampa zone, all the way behind the Lightning net, now knocked away by Callahan. Stralman was feeling a little bit under the weather after the team arrived from New York City here in Buffalo. And this puck is angled off the glass and back down into the Buffalo end. Vladislav Nemesnikov and J.T. Brown have come into the lineup, replacing Jonathan Drouin and Brendan Morrow. And Andre Schuster is out of the lineup on defense for Tampa Bay tonight, as this play whistled offside.
John Cooper just wants to keep his lineup fresh. It's tough for a coach sometimes when your team is tops in the NHL and everybody's healthy, and that's the situation for Tampa right now. So he wants to rotate players in. He doesn't want people sitting on the bench too long. So he said, any changes I made tonight is not because somebody has played poorly on our team. It's because I have to get other people going and not have them sitting on the sidelines for too long.
Yeah, he said right now nobody deserves to sit. That's a good situation to have, as Cedric Paquette, another one that Cooper talked about this morning, loves the energy he brings to the lineup. Number 13 for the Lightning now as J.T. Brown sends it across. It's blocked in front of Enroth, recovered by Garrison, who sends it back in deep. Now on the angle, a deflected puck did not get all the way through to the goaltender Enroth, backhanded by Carl, wide of the Buffalo net. Here comes Garrison moving up, one of the offseason additions on the blue line. Boyle with a big hit on Coletta.
Yeah, Coletta's head down, boy. He gets straightened up there by Brian Boyle. Boyle will play that kind of game, especially along the wall. He was a terrific addition for Tampa as well. Brian Boyle, of course, played for the New York Rangers the last couple of years, and I think Coletta got hit in the mouth.
Yeah, the indication of a high stick. I thought at first maybe the official was indicating the puck was played with a high stick, but it looks like Paquette is going to go.
There's the initial hit there, too. I'm wondering if the blood came from that shoulder hit by Brian Boyle.
Yeah.
He really stood Coletta up. And then the stick came up later on, but it definitely is another power play situation here for the Buffalo Sabres.
So already a second power play. As puck hit in the box for high sticking. Sabres did not have a shot on goal on that first man advantage. This power play presented by Kia Motors. And the Lightning able to send it all the way back down into the Buffalo zone. Tyler Myers back to get it. Palat on him. Myers across center ice. Lofts it off. Backhanded by Girgensons. He goes to the front of the net. Deflects off him, and Nabokov made a save. And the puck is cleared by the Lightning.
Boy, that was nice and smooth coming up the ice. Started by Tyler Myers. He was just flowing through the neutral zone there. Good attack, which backed Tampa off the line and gave him that chance. Good puck movement.
Now Girgensons again. Mentioned at the very top of the show, Zemgus Girgensons leading all players in fan voting after 2 weeks of all-star voting.
Yeah, how about that? And most of the votes coming from Latvia.
Yeah.
Great.
Now Boyle doing a good job on the penalty kill. He'll head to the bench and be replaced. And we're halfway through the Buffalo power play. Filppula blocks the entry attempt there by Ennis. Ennis indicating he's ready to head to the bench, and fresh legs come out for the last part of this Buffalo power play. Stewart trying to go wide. Radko Gudas is there for the Lightning. Now the puck is knocked back into the corner and recovered and cleared all the way down the ice by J.T. Brown.
When you get into a situation like this for Buffalo where they played well, 5 of their last 6 games have been wins. The power play has got them a couple of goals, but if it's not working, you don't want it to drain that good energy that they've created.
Yeah. Now Ristolainen, good job to hold the puck in on the clearing attempt. Gets it back, right-hand shooting defenseman straight away, lets it go. Knocked down in front, Nabokov looked to his left, the puck was to his right, but fortunately for him, Stralman was there to clear it all the way back down the ice.
Yeah, that hit somebody about 10 feet in front of him, took a nasty change of direction. Nabokov didn't have a chance. I think it hit him somewhere, but it dropped so quickly, didn't go in.
Pocket penalty has come to an end. Centering pass here goes off the skate of Ryan Callahan. So the Sabres 0 for 2 in the first 8 minutes of this game on the power play. And Stamkos tried to go through the legs. It was blocked by Torrey Mitchell, recovered by the Lightning and Callahan. Hands it off now to Stamkos. He'll drive it along the boards in behind Enroth, around on the near side. Killorn gets a stick on it. Now chipped up the far side by Weber. Foligno takes a hit from Callahan. Now Strachan moves it quickly for Flynn. Spins away from Killorn. Now a stretch pass. It's deflected by Delorier back into the Tampa Bay end. Gudas angles it off the end boards. And Delorier finished the hit on Radko Gudas. That was the response you heard from the crowd. As a shot here by Stamkos off the end boards. Enroth calmly took a swipe at it but didn't cover. Then Gudas came back in on Delorier, and Radko Gudas went down again.
Well, those are 2 birds of a feather. They'll be running at each other the rest of the game.
Barberio, number 8. Mentioned one change on defense for John Cooper. Barberio into the lineup with Schuster getting the night off. Nice little entry pass here now for Conley, who had a couple of nice goals against Lundqvist of the Rangers last night. Myers had it, lost it to Filppula. He tried to send it out to the slot. Sabres get to it.
A noticeable difference in Buffalo's game inside their own zone from early in the season. That's one thing they had to clean up. They were spending so much time, they'd get exhausted virtually every shift in their own end, have no energy to do anything in the other end of the ice. Much more clean. They worked on it a lot this morning, even in the morning skate, moving the puck around out of their zone.
Now Filppula drops it back for Carl, joining the rush.
Oh, Filppula almost got decaffeinated here by Foligno. Foligno coming across the ice, just missed him at the last second.
They tried a stretch pass for Stewart that wasn't quite on the mark, and Matt Carlin backed up to make the play defensively. Nemesnikov takes a hit over by the Tampa bench as he was making a change, and Garrison flips it into the Buffalo zone. Strachan up the right wing side for Stewart. Past the halfway mark of this first period. Callahan slides it across. Now Strachan sends it across. The door off, and now it is sent back into the Tampa zone by Cody Hodgson, and the Lightning will come out with it. Ryan Boyle. Now Palat carries into the Sabres zone. Takes a hit from Zadorov as he sends it in deep behind the Buffalo net. Ristolainen is there. Tried to hand it off. It's taken away by the Lightning, and a shot here by Johnson did not get through. And back the other way. Tyler Ennis is spun around on a hit by Stralman. Edmund moves it quickly now for Palat. Andre Palat into the face-off circle, gets the shot away, and it's blocked up on the netting and out of play. And we finally get a whistle. We will step away. A couple of unsuccessful power plays for the Sabres. It is scoreless in Buffalo. This holiday season, choose from thousands of NHL gifts for all the hockey fans on your list. Only at shop.nhl.com. Now the Tampa Bay Lightning, we mentioned at the top scoring team in the National Hockey League with 90 goals, 3.6 goals per game. Their plus 25 goal differential is tied for the best in the league. And 3 or more goals in 15 of the 25 games they have played.
They don't give the puck away much. That last shift by Palat was typical of it. Boy, he just threaded his way in the zone. He did not want to dump the puck in.
Now Barberio tried to get it to the front. It was knocked down. Here was Mitchell trying to scoop it along. Nearly gave it away. Good reaction there by Enroth, the goaltender, to poke it away with a goal stick. Out near the line, Barberio able to get a stick on it. Now Killorn. And it's taken back by Torrey Mitchell. He slides it across, and Strachan will dump it along behind Nabokov.
Stamkos and Mitchell really had something going in the zone there. Stamkos angry about something Mitchell did. He's taking a run at him again. That's the third time he's popped him in this shift.
Here is Tyler Myers with a shot just wide on the stick side of Nabokov. Good job by this line again against the Stamkos line. Torrey Mitchell out here with Delorier and Gianta. Gianta took a look over his shoulder, thought there should have been a penalty. And finally it's back the other way, but out of the reach of Killorn. Callahan down there. Now Callahan out of the corner with it out in front. Just missed the stick of Filppula as Stamkos had gone to the bench to start the line change. And now the Lightning will back up the center ice, and they'll complete the change as Filppula will drop it back for Garrison.
Buffalo's got to be efficient against that Stamkos line. A lot of it because of Killorn and Callahan. So good on the forecheck.
Now Filppula does a good job to fight off the check from Tyler Myers as a shot sent in wide of the Buffalo net. Now Conley sends it to the far side. Foligno runs into Garrison. Out in the high slot, puck knocked down by Filppula with a high stick and touched next by Conley. We get the whistle. We'll step away with 7.5 remaining in the first. When we come back, Brian Ekblom with Buffalo head coach Ted Nolan.
A dozen games or so, your team has played with much more confidence. Are you seeing that same confidence here tonight?
No, don't question it. But, for us, in order for us to have any kind of chance, we have to play hard and we have to play physical. And so far, so good here tonight.
To turn back to strong offensive Tampa, what areas of the ice are you looking at for you guys to control?
Well, everything starts from the defensive zone. If we take care of that and then make sure we don't give him too much time. You see Stamkos, he's a world-class athlete, so we just got to get on top of him, quick.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Brian, all these teams that are near the bottom of the standings, everybody's talking about, do they want to stay there as an organization to have a shot at Connor McDavid or Jack Eichel, the presumptive 1 and 2 picks in the draft next year? And Ted Nolan, said to us this morning, he said, I haven't even seen Connor McDavid play. But he said, you can't try to get one of those picks.
Of course not.
To the end of the story in a second as Stewart breaks in and Nabokov able to make the stop.
You can't allow that kind of thing to creep into your culture. Absolutely not. And they do not have that attitude here. That's something that the fans and the press talk about because it's topical and it makes sense in many ways. But as an organization, there's not a chance you let that creep in.
Yeah, Nolan went so far to say is that you'd be cursed forever if you did that.
Yeah, that was a great line. And well, you should be. I agree with him completely.
Yeah. Now Foligno back to get it. Playing on a line here with Hodgson and Stewart. And this play is ruled an icing against Buffalo.
Buffalo won their best scoring chances right off the face-off. And Stewart will end up with the puck as Tampa pinches up on that loose puck there. And they catch the defense. And here comes Stewart. Now Stewart looking at the situation. Now, can I make the pass? He does the right thing. You have to at least get a shot away. Stewart's got 2 goals in his last 3 games. It was Matt Carl that an ill-timed idea to try and stay up on the play, and he got beaten on the play. And then Stewart was able to get that chance on the 2-on-1.
Hodgson against Johnson on the draw. Tyler Johnson wins it from the high slot. Kucherov shot was blocked. Picked up there by Hedman. He put it right through the goal mouth to the far side. Palat has it. Now Palat. Kucherov tipped in front. Picked up by Johnson. Covered well by Tyson Strachan. Did a nice job defensively. Comes back to Johnson again off his stick. Now Kucherov tries to get it to the front looking for Palat. Weber got a stick on that. This is a test for Buffalo inside their own zone against this group.
Yeah, this is exactly the same kind of stuff that Johnson line did against the Rangers last night. They really create.
That puck off the stick of Tyler Johnson, and now Stralman held it in momentarily, but Stewart at center ice drives it right back into the Tampa zone. Nabokov moves it quickly around left wing side, and Palat drives it back out to center ice, and the Sabres regain. Under 6 minutes remaining here in the first. It is scoreless. Buffalo's had 2 power plays, and the shots are 5-1 Buffalo.
And that's a huge step forward for them in many ways. Do you look at the scoring in first periods? It's 29-9 in favor of Tampa in the first period scoring. So Buffalo doing a good job here early on. Statistically, puts them in good shape.
Ennis drops it back behind his own net. Ristolainen will try to exit the far side. He does get it around. Molson takes a hit over by the Buffalo bench. Puck comes free. Ristolainen has it again. He'll try it up the far wall one more time. Now Molson again, able to get it inside the Tampa Bay zone. Mark Barberio, a former top defenseman of the American Hockey League. And terrific back-to-back minor league seasons that the Tampa Bay Farm Club had in first Norfolk and then Syracuse.
And John Cooper was there.
Oh, yeah.
Coaching them.
Now Myers plays it ahead. Gianto redirects it. Off the inboard, taken by Nabokov. Up the middle he goes to Filppula now with some speed into the Buffalo zone. Valtteri Filppula. Late man coming is Carl. Carl with a shot. It was blocked. Gianto got a stick on it. Now Filppula has it again out near the line. Hands it off. Carl zips it in just wide of the Buffalo goal. Picked up by Strachan. Nice little confident backhand pass there to Mitchell. Knocked off his stick though by Conley. Now the Sabres again quickly get to the puck. Garrison pinched in. Keeps it alive for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Moves it along for Filppula. Corey Mitchell on him. Now Filppula again. Moves it in deep. Weber got to it first for Buffalo. Angled off the boards. Gianto does a good job there clearing the zone. Tampa Bay dumps it right back into the Buffalo end. Both teams were making changes. And the Sabres able to dump it out to center ice. Chipped along by Paquette, and he runs into Strachan. He plays it up the near side now for Gianto. Hedman came in quickly on him, but the Sabres started back now. Here's Cody Hudson. Tried to go through Boyle, who played it well. Now Hudson again. At the side of the net, it is covered up by Nabokov. 3.5 remaining here in the first. It is scoreless in Buffalo.
Evgeny Nabokov in a backup role after years of being a number 1. Watch him play the puck. Bottom of your screen here, very calmly. Really nice pass to Filppula right up the middle. Filppula on the attack. Left side of your screen, Matt Carl coming late on the play. Good timing. Nice pass across. And a good bid on net. All started by the goaltender who nearly got his first assist.
Lightning control the face-off of their own zone, and Palat skates it back to his feet. Kucherov, number 86, just inside the zone, gets the return. Now he drops it off. Backhanded by Hedman. It didn't get through. Well, I thought Kucherov could have gone right to the net with that, Brian.
No kidding. That was definitely one too many passes. Easy to say after the fact. It's either a beautiful play or a nothing, and it turned out to be nothing.
Now Hedman for Palat. Couldn't get it through.
That's one of those plays, Dave. If it goes in, you go, wow, look at that puck moving. If it doesn't, you go, what we say is, where's the shot?
Here's a shot there that was handled by Nabokov off the stick of Girgensons as the top line for Buffalo. Looking to be dangerous here in the offensive zone. Molson moves it along. 2:45 remaining here in the first. Tampa Bay Lightning, the top scoring team in the National Hockey League, still with just one shot on goal. Girgensons hands it off for a one-timer that sails off the stick of Strachan and over the glass and out of play.
Yeah, that one was rolling, but good setup there to Girgensons in the high slot. Good defensive positioning means you have a third guy high in the offensive zone. That was Girgensons, and he got that away very quickly. And look at the eye-hand coordination by Ennis. And then here earlier on, here's the one too many passes that we were talking about that Kucherov really had a chance to pull the trigger there, and I guess he was looking to maybe change the angle. That's usually what guys are thinking about when they make an extra pass like that. But he had a good view of the net there and didn't pull the trigger.
Now sent ahead into the Buffalo zone. Callahan tied up there with Georges. Tyler Myers there for Buffalo as well. Stamkos trying to dig it out for Tampa Bay. Now the puck does come free, but Gianta gets back to get it for Buffalo. Hands it off now for Torrey Mitchell. Mitchell plays it ahead. Pass Barberio, and then Callahan, or rather Killorn with his hand in the air. And this looks like it's going to be an icing call. Upcoming games. Coming up next, the Flyers and the Sharks here on NBCSN, and then tomorrow night, Wednesday night rivalry. What a good one. That'll be St. Louis and Chicago. And then the NHL Network with Dallas and Detroit Thursday at 7:30. And, of course, St. Louis with a new backup goaltender.
Yeah, how about that? Marty Brodeur back in the National Hockey League.
Now Myers hands it off for Gianta. Tries to get it to an area where Mitchell can skate into it.
Good back check there by Stamkos to clear it.
Now Gianta across the line. Delorier back to Gianta. Hammers one here to Nabokov. Out to cut off the angle, made the save. Now Killorn able to get a stick on it. Clears it back into the Buffalo end. Hodgson pushes it ahead now for Stewart. Sidesteps Scopula. Stewart flips it ahead. And it closes in on the Tampa net. Backhanded by Garrison up the far side. Domestikov comes up with it. And just one extra move at the line, and that forced Conley offside.
We were in here a couple of weeks ago, Dave, and Nikita Zadorov, I was talking about him. He's a teenager who was playing his 9th game that night, and I said if he plays his 10th game, he stays in Buffalo. That wasn't the right way to describe it. What happens is, once he played his 10th game, which he has, he can still go back to junior hockey if Buffalo wants to send him back. But he definitely is burning his first year of his NHL contract. That's the better way to describe it.
Right.
He has earned it. He had a very slow start to the season. Buffalo was very patient with him. The older players really worked with him about preparing himself. He got stronger in the gym, and they really like the way he's adapted and played. So they don't look like they're intending to send him back to junior anytime soon either.
And Cedric Paquette has to go off his stick and out of play. Paquette has been given credit with the only shot on goal so far for the Tampa Bay Lightning, as Ted Nolan's squad has done a terrific job in containing this high-powered Tampa offense.
They have, and Zadorov and Ristolainen, the two young guys that are playing on defense, have done a really nice job. They've got some really good chemistry, and really that's what it's about. I mean, you have to have defense pairs that feel the game the same way, that work off of each other very well. It's every bit as important as forward chemistry.
1 minute remaining.
Less than a minute remaining in this first period as Foligno on the far side tries to get it out. He's jammed up along the boards. Now Kucherov sends it around to the near side of the Buffalo zone. Carl moved in from the left point. Stewart on him. It comes out to the line. Tyler Johnson is there. Long-range shot. Save made by Enroth. Cleared off the far boards, and Foligno finishes the job getting it to center ice. Stewart tried to move it quickly for Cody Hodgson, but it hit a skate.
That was good support in front of the net by Josh Georges, too. A terrific, real quick clear off that save by Enroth. The puck was just laying there.
Now Kucherov with a shot. He just missed on the stick side as he was open for a split second. Now Kucherov sets it up for Victor Hedman. Hedman lobs it toward the Buffalo net in wide with 10 seconds remaining in the period. Kucherov puts it right to the near side of the Sabres zone. Stewart was tying it up with his skates, realizing there was very little time left remaining as the horn sounds to end the first 20 minutes. Coming up on the Lexus Intermission Report with Catherine Tappan, Mike Milbury, and JR. The Sabres are hurt by a poor power play. They were 0 for 2 with the man advantage, and the best of the West in action. Scoreless at the end of one of the high-powered Tampa Bay Lightning with just 2 shots on goal. The Lexus Intermission Report right after this. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. And by Duluth Trading Fire Hose Pants, tougher than a Hail Mary hog. And welcome back to Buffalo, getting ready for the start of the second period. The Lightning and the Sabres scoreless. Right now, let's go inside the glass, presented by Progressive. Here's Brian Engblom.
Tampa's the highest scoring team in the league, but they had 2 shots on goal in that first period because Buffalo's breakouts are just so much better. They're so much more organized in their own zone. They have a lot more confidence. They go tape to tape, and they're calm. They're not trying to rush things and just dump it out or try to use the glass. They're first on pucks a lot more often. All of these things, the things we're missing in the first couple of weeks of the season. Again, tape to tape, a little bit of pressure. They get it through the neutral zone, and they are down the ice. Tampa, only 2 shots. That's really something for a team that's number 1 in offense.
And Buffalo has a couple of guys out of their lineup. We didn't get a chance to mention it in the first period, but Cody McCormick, who skated hard this morning, and a lot of the reporters, when he came off the ice, thought that McCormick was in the lineup. It was only when Ted Nolan, a couple of minutes later, met with the media and said, no, he's not ready to go. As a shot here by Johnson is turned aside by Enroth. And also Drew Stafford is out of the lineup for the second game in a row.
And he's their second leading scorer.
Ristolainen with a shot. I thought he broke his stick. He did not, but the puck went wide, and now a lead pass intended there for Tyler Johnson. He picked it up off the end boards, and what a stop there by Enroth, who makes another save and juggles and now hangs on as the Lightning look like they come out with a little bit more purpose getting into the offensive zone.
Oh, yeah, I would think the coach would be sending that message. Come on, guys, we had 2 shots in the first period. They did a good job, but really? This whole sequence started with Buffalo getting up on the play, and Ristolainen gets a shot on goal in the middle of the screen, and he did kind of fan on it, but outside of your screen there, Ristolainen realizes quickly enough that Tyler Johnson is on the fly. That's really good awareness by Ristolainen. But as the puck comes off the end wall, Ristolainen lets up a little bit, and a nice pass to himself almost off the end wall. Johnson gets a great scoring chance.
Tyler Myers now for Josh Georges. Flynn pressured there by Strawman. And now the puck comes to Gianta, tries to backhand it ahead. It was blocked by Stamkos. And now it is blocked in the neutral zone again. Picked up by Killorn. Racing back deep in the Buffalo zone. Alex Killorn. Now for Stamkos. Corey Mitchell on him. Killorn gets it right back for the Lightning. Angles it off the end boards. Here is Stamkos. Stamkos hands it off. A shot here. Does not get all the way through to Enroth and ends up in the corner and whistled down.
That whole sequence, though, is because Tyler Myers was careless in the neutral zone. He had full control of the puck, makes a bad pass in the neutral zone right off the shin pads of Killorn. Now the Sabres have to chase him down into the zone. Puck possession by Tampa, and Hedman moving in from the point, and you have to get a good save from your goaltender, all because Myers was just a little careless. Got to make a better pass or get it in the zone, prevent all that stuff from happening.
Now Cody Hodgson won the draw away from Filppula. Angle up the near boards for Foligno, taken away now. And Meslikov with a shot, changed direction, and Conley may have gotten a piece of that. It went wide of Enroth. And now the Sabres able to backhand it all the way down on Evgeny Nabokov, who slaps to the head now for Conley. Angled off the boards. Meslikov tried to feed it to Filppula, taken away by Foligno, taken back though by the Lightning. Comes back here for Stroman, a shot, and just over the blocker side of Jonas Enroth.
Now was Foligno sloppy with the puck there too, turned it over. Another scoring chance because of just got to be more careful with the puck.
Now Foligno, one-on-one against Stroman, dropped it back, and Hodgson with a shot. Boy, that was close to offside. The linesman indicating that it was a good play to keep it alive for Buffalo as Ristolainen has a shot blocked by Filppula, and then dumped it anyway into the Tampa zone, and on the delayed offside, the Sabres and Lightning both making changes. Now the Lightning have already doubled up their shot total from the first period. Here's a chance now for J.T. Brown, and a pad save made by Enroth. Backhanded to the corner. Zadorov moves it along now. Ristolainen up the far side. And it's chipped back into the Tampa Bay zone. Radko Gudas back to get it. Gudas up the far side. Barberio. Now it comes back for Boyle. Hands it off for Paquette. Edward Paquette. Puts it in deep. Ristolainen is there. Boyle steps into him. Now the Sabres off the wall with it. Delorier sends it across, hits off the skate of number 59. Tim Schaller called up from Rochester of the American Hockey League. The farm team not too far away, of course, from Buffalo. We mentioned with both McCormick and Stafford out. The Sabres were short of forward. There was talk about dressing 11 forwards and 7D, but Schaller called up from Rochester and saw very limited action in that first period here. Tyler Johnson back the other way, tries to get it to the front. Now Palat with a shot that missed the net. Back out to the line. Emerson, he can hammer, save, rebound chance, and sliding across Enroth. Out the Tyler Johnson opportunity. Now Palat with it out to the left point. Johnson again, chips it along. Kucherov with it. Holds it back to the near side of the Buffalo zone. Harrison came down from the point. Molson, though, for Buffalo, able to play it across and safely out to center ice. What a dangerous pass there by the Lightning, but they got away with it. Now Palat has to come back center ice. And off for Josh Gorges. Stretch pass, off a stick, goes in wide of Nabokov. Victor Hedman. Now for Anton Strawman.
Those plays are so effective in second period. Gorges at the long pass from the corner all the way to the far blue line on the line changes because the forwards of Buffalo come out in the offensive zone almost. Good play there.
Now a pass to the front. Good positioning by Strawman. Puck doesn't come out though. Now Hedman again. Angles it off the board. Doesn't get it by the stick of Gianta. Into the corner for Mitchell. Back for Gianta. Now the Lightning get to it, and Killorn trying to chip it around. Tyson's Strachan played him well and kept it alive in the Tampa zone. Now Flynn with it. Strawman angles into the corner as it comes around on the near side. Out to the liner shot by Weber, just wide. And Hedman with a stretch pass here. Callahan behind everybody. Ryan Callahan in on the forehand, and he fired it wide. Now Gudas has it bounce off his glove, and back the other way comes Chris Stewart. Stewart slides it across. Foligno just off the Buffalo bench.
Buffalo's got to react a lot quicker. The guys flying out of the zone there. Weber and Strachan just went to sleep for a minute, and Callahan made him pay with a breakaway. Hedman's one of the best in the business at making those long passes coming out of the zone.
Now Barberio plays it around on the near side. Conley able to get a stick on it. It'll be chased down now by Nemestikov. Closing in. Slides it across for a chance here. And Roth the save. He looked around. And behind the net now, Filppula tried to bank it in off the Buffalo goaltender, who's able to keep it out. And the crowd here at First Niagara Center appreciating the work of Jonas Enroth.
Oh, he has been really good in this second period because this is a different Tampa team. The Tampa team that you see most of the time this year, they come out really flying. Here's the breakaway chance for Callahan. Protects the puck. Tries to go to his forehand at the last second. Bothered enough by Weber on the backside, and then Kucherov with the pass to Filppula. And Filppula gets the pass away. It was bobbling just a little bit, but you could see that Filppula didn't have a whole lot to shoot at. Would have had to make the perfect shot under the bar, and Enroth made the save.
Well, the shots were 7-2 Buffalo in the first period. They are 7-2 Tampa. Less than 6 minutes into this second period.
Some sloppiness and passing by Buffalo and unaware on that breakaway.
Now a good opportunity there for Tim Schaller, number 59. In just his second NHL game. 6 minutes into the second period. No score.
Tampa Bay Lightning are a different team in this second period. They came out and were smoking. Johnson with a good shot there. The defense jumping up on the play. That one was deflected. J.T. Brown with a good chance. And then, of course, the breakaway by Callahan. So Buffalo's going to have to do a lot better job in the neutral zone with their puck management, and they're going to have to be aware on the breakaway chances because guys like Callahan are flying up the middle as soon as they touch the puck in the defensive zone.
Now Girgensons, Ennis, and Molson the top line for Buffalo. Garrison for the Lightning. Able to get it out to center ice. Didn't connect there with Paquette, and this will be icing against Tampa, so they will not be able to make a change.
An interesting part of this game is that Tampa is really strong down the middle with their centermen. Stamkos, Johnson, Filppula, Boyle. Boy, that's a really good, strong lineup. Buffalo uses a lot of guys who were actually former wingers. Girgensson and Mitchell and Foligno. Those guys are wingers who have played a little center in their past but have been mostly wingers. But that's what Ted Nolan has been forced to do. So the center ice position important.
A turnover nearly led to a scoring chance there. It was Ennis that had the opportunity, but now the Lightning get it back. Boyle under some pressure there from Molson. Now it comes to J.T. Brown, hands it back off. Brian Boyle right side. Paquette trying to cut to the middle. Weber cut him off. Now Strachan takes a hit from Paquette as the puck goes to the far side. Barberio trying to put it to the front. It eventually got there, but knocked away. The Sabres, good job with their sticks. Now Molson along the near boards. Some help from Strachan. It comes to Girgensons. He sends it across now. Tyler Ennis with it. Ennis tries to get it to the front. It was redirected by Girgensons just wide on the stick side of Nabokov. Torrey Mitchell now back in center ice. Trying to get something started. Hands it off. It comes back to Mitchell. Good give and go again. Back for Mitchell. Maybe one too many passes. Now it comes out to Georges. Trying to go to Tyler Myers, who redirected it with a skate. Now Mitchell able to knock it down with a glove. He hands it off to Myers. Myers off the stick of Flynn. Now recovered by Mitchell again. Gianta to Myers, slides it across for Georges. Got Georges with it back to Tyler Myers. He tees it up. Doesn't see the shooting lane that he wants with Paquette right in front of him. Now the pass across. Angle off the boards and comes all the way back into the Buffalo zone.
Dave, you're exactly right. Paquette did such a good job of getting in front of the puck. Myers didn't see anything.
Now Gianta right back on the attack, sends it across. Palata's there, angles it off the boards. Flynn able to block the attempted clear down the ice, but the Sabres have to go back into their own zone to regroup. I know you said it a couple of times, Brian, and even with Tampa Bay coming on in this second period, what a different look to this Buffalo team in all three zones.
Oh, they've got so much more confidence. They're so much more efficient and effective than they were earlier in the season. It's made a huge difference.
Play whistle down offside of the Tampa Bay line.
Terrific last shift there by Torrey Mitchell. Mitchell playing a little basketball in the offensive zone. He'll knock the puck down. He has to stretch and put this one down on the ice. Makes a nice little play to Tyler Myers, and then Myers tries to get it into the middle. Almost connected there with Brian Flynn. And then Mitchell again. Good positioning defensively leads to offensive chances. Coaches preach that all the time. The deep slot in the offensive zone is defensive responsibility, but it also sets up offense.
Face-off win here for Buffalo. Georges with a shot. Nabokov the save. Sabres get on it again. Into the wall of the boards there by Schaller. He hands it off now for Stewart. Back in front. Now it comes back out to the left point. Georges across. Myers, that hit somebody in the face-off circle. Goes to the far boards, and Hedman will come out with it. Hedman across the line. 3 assists last night in the victory over the Rangers. As Stamkos with a shot. Deflected wide of the Buffalo net. Callahan staying on it. Ryan Callahan up the boards with it. Sends it across for Hedman. Hedman rolling it along for Stamkos. Stamkos right in front. It bounced off of Coleman and went just wide. Not sure what that hit. I don't think it hit his stick.
And it's a foot in front.
Now Hedman again closing in. Victor Hedman sends it across now for Stamkos. His pass was deflected away, and Callahan back in center ice. Hedman throws it across, and unfortunately for the Sabres, they were in the midst of a change, and Schaller couldn't play that puck as he was going to the bench. And now Enroth out to play it. Hands it off for Georges. Girgensons off his stick out to center ice. Sent along by Molson. Chased down by Carl. Now for Tampa as we approach the halfway mark of this second period. Now Filppula across the line. Now Terry Filppula drops it back. Here's Garrison looking for a shooting lane. Instead slides it across, gets the return. Hammered one here. Redirected and a save by Enroth.
But Jason Garrison's got a terrific shot, too. He was another really strong addition the offseason for Tampa on the blue line.
Now it comes to Filppula again. Valtteri Filppula all the way to the corner. Sends it back to Carl. Carl tried to lob one through. It's deflected to the far side off the stick of Matt Molson. Recovered here by the Lightning. A shot blocked by Weber in front. Now Filppula gets to it. He tried to go back to the point. Now backhanded by Weber, and that puck ends up in the Buffalo bench and out of play. We will step away. When we come back, Brian Engblom with Tampa Bay head coach John Cooper right after this.
Period, your team only had 2 shots on goal. What was the message in the first intermission?
Well, the one thing was I thought we were getting grade A chances and we were passing them up. And got to give Buffalo a little bit of credit. They're on our guys hard, but we've got a little bit more renewed focus here at the start of the second. We got to generate some shots on the nets that create scrambles, and we've done a really good job of that. It just hasn't found the back of the net.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
John Cooper, who took over March 25th of 2013. And so in his second full season behind the bench for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Now Kucherov, he immediately put it to the net from the boards, forced Enroth to make a stop. Now Palat with it. That shot is blocked wide. Barberio on the far side looking to make a play. Knocked away and cleared by Hodgson all the way back into the Tampa zone. Radko Gudas back to get it. Stewart pursuing him. It comes to Tyler Johnson. Backhands it ahead. Palat across the line. Tries to slide it across, but it was blocked. And back out to center ice. And here is Stewart trying to get something going. Radko Gudas got in his way, and the Lightning clear it back the other way. Tyler Johnson on the right wing side, and the play just offside at the Buffalo line. Well, of course, the general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning is former Red Wing great Steve Yzerman. Hard to believe he's in his 5th year as the general manager here after spending the previous 5 years with the Red Wings with their management team, learning about the business of the game. And no question, he knew about the game on the ice. One of the all-time greats, the longtime captain, war number 19.
Studying under Kenny Hall in Detroit didn't hurt either when it comes to the management
No, that's
side.
right.
One of the best in the business. He's done a really good job. The additions he made this year, Brian Boyle and Strawman from the Rangers and Jason Garrison on the back end, their defense in particular is so much better off. And Brian Boyle, terrific job in the Stanley Cup Finals last year with the Rangers. That gives him a solid fourth-line grinding centerman with size. Great stuff.
Now Mitchell tries to get it back to the front. Deflected back behind the Tampa net. They get it back out to the left point for Georges. And that was blocked by Callahan, and it bounces over the glass and out of play. Yeah, when we asked John Cooper this morning, besides the fact that he's got a healthy Ben Bishop, which he didn't have in the playoff series against Montreal, what's the biggest difference in your team? And he went right to the point that you were just making, Brian. He said the addition of the 2 defensemen has just given us so much more depth. And that depth was needed with Hedman missing as much action as he did early in the season. And now to get Hedman back and play him with Strawman, Garrison, as part of your second defense pairing.
Their record with Hedman out of the lineup was simply outstanding. And he has become a dominant defenseman in the NHL, Victor Hedman.
Shot blocked in front of Nabokov. A follow-up chance by Matt Molson is covered up by the Tampa Bay goaltender.
Cooper also talked about Evgeny Nabokov and what a change it's been for him. Acquired in the offseason as well, we should mention. He was 3 times he's played 60 games or more in a season. Twice he's played 70 games or more. Now he's in a backup role in tough situations like this in the second of back-to-backs and only playing a couple of times a month.
Exactly.
That's a big adjustment for him.
Huge adjustment. Now Brown sends it to the net, deflected wide by Enroth. Lightning trying to keep the pressure on up to Garrison, slides it across for Carl. Carl high slot for Paquette, back to Garrison with a shot, that's blocked wide. Chased down now by Brown. Brown circling the Buffalo net, gets it to the forehand, and Enroth was right over there, square to the shooter, and made the save. Now Carl held it into the line, hands it off. Boyle with a chance here and a save by Enroth. That may have hit him in the mask.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from here.
Gergensen blobs it back the other way and is trying to get to it. Garrison got there first for the Lightning, and a quick up now. Domestikov, look at that speed, cuts in. Boy, did he show some quickness there, number 90 for the Tampa Bay Lightning. He has it again, back to Gudas with a shot. And a save made by Enroth. Here's Radko Gudas again off the stick of Conley. Knocked down by Domestikov, and a left pad save. Good pressure here by this line for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have now outshot Buffalo 14-3 here in the second period.
After the interview with John Cooper, I asked him one more question off camera about the East-West play. Is there too much? Just like last night, he mentioned that against the Rangers. And he went, yeah. He said, that Kucherov play, did you see that one? Remember the one we talked about? Right. He showed the replay where he passed up a point-blank chance to make another pass. He pointed that out as a big example, so I'm sure he did in the locker room the first intermission as well.
Absolutely. And this is going to be icing. Face off back into the Tampa Bay zone.
Nemesnikov on his last shift. Oh my goodness, that he turned the Jets on. Look at this quick up play. And look how smooth he is. He just crossing him over and crossing him over. Weber can't turn and goal quick enough to cut him off at the pass. And then Boyle right down the slot. Yeah, it looked like it might have hit him shoulder, mask, I'm not quite sure. Doesn't matter. Big save by Enroth, who's been terrific in this game. And then that's another walkout from J.T. Brown out from behind the net. Enroth continues to play some terrific hockey and goal.
Nemesnikov, a native of Zhukovsky, Russia, the 27th overall pick, the first pick for the Lightning in 2011. Wrap around by Hodson, comes out to the slot area. Shot is blocked out to the line. And Zadorov unable to get it through. Kucherov back the other way. Worked the line and played him well. And now the Sabres work it back to center ice as Chris Stewart dumps it back in behind Nemesnikov. Under 5.5 remaining in the second period of this scoreless game. Lightning came in tied with Montreal for the most points in the National Hockey League. They played one less game than Montreal. And as Hedman now looks to make a little move, it's slapped off of his stick. Kucherov hands it off now. Palat with a chance. That was blocked by Zadorov and angled off the boards and back down the ice into the Tampa Bay end. Not far enough for icing.
Hedman really aggressive on that play. Boy, he jumped up right with the forwards there to give them another option. He's done that a couple of times in this game.
Ryan Callahan across the line. Long-range shot. Tried to go high. Put it up over top of the net. Scooped up by Tyler Myers. Back the other way. Now it is Brian Gianta. Along for the Vodkov. And all the way back around and out to center ice.
I see a lot more confidence in Tyler Myers' game, too. He skated with the puck very well in this game. He played 30 minutes, over 30 minutes against the Montreal Canadiens the other night in their winning shootout in Montreal.
Both Strachan and Tyler Myers with the career highs in minutes played, as this will be icing against Buffalo. And so the Sabres will not be able to make a change.
Yeah, he and Strachan have been together while Josh Georges was out, and that was a terrific combo. And some of the people in the press here in Buffalo were wondering why would break up a dynamic combination that was playing so well when the team's winning. But Teddy Nolan said, look, we got Josh Georges back in. He's one of our #1 shutdown. There's a look at Strachan, who played over 30 minutes as well, as you mentioned, Dave. They did a great job, and they just changed the pairings because Georges was back in the lineup, and Georges and Myers have certainly done the job here as well.
Now Flynn hands it off, and Gianta pushes it ahead. Trying to step around Victor Hedman. That's tough to do with that size difference between Gianta and Hedman. Now Killorn played his college hockey at Harvard for 4 years. Sends it ahead for Callahan. Hands it off now for Stamkos. Back for Callahan. He backhands it in front. Now Killorn trying to make a play with it. Has to take it all the way to the near boards. So trying to kick it along, trying to get away from Strachan. Out to the line now for Gudas. He slides it across. Quick shot to the net, goes wide. And it comes to Molson now. Hands it off for Girgensson. Girgensson hands it off for Tyler Ennis. Ennis tries to go back, and good job by Radko Gudas. Now hammer here by Ristolainen and wide of the net.
That was really well done, actually, by both teams. Good exchanges there with Girgensson and Ennis, but well covered by the defense of Tampa.
Now Ennis tries to hand it off to Molson. It wasn't in an area where he could get a shot away. And now Killorn angles it ahead for Brett Conley. And Zadorov played him well. Now it comes back to Molson. Molson hands it off for Ennis. Backhand shot. Oh, he tried to sneak it in high on the short side. There wasn't much time to make a play, but he almost made it work.
I'll say.
And that would have been another highlight reel goal for Ennis, who had one last week. It'll be in contention for goal of the year. 2:45 remaining in the second. Look at Ennis right here. Almost tucks it in. It remains scoreless. It is time now for tonight's Head & Shoulders flashback. We're only going to go back to Friday night. We talked about this just before we went to the break that Tyler Ennis had a highlight reel goal last week. Well, here it is. Look at this play, Brian.
Oh, that is fantastic. You got to have guts to come in on an angle like that, from that bad an angle. It's like a game of chicken. Do you feel lucky? Because if you don't, they can really hang you up on the net, and it'll hurt.
Now Brown with a shot here that is blocked before it got in on Enroth. And Ted Nolan talking to him this morning. He singled out Tyler Ennis, didn't he, Brian, in terms of just his skill? He said, boy, is this kid a talent.
Yeah, and he's settling in on the wing now.
Now Foligno diving to try to make a play across. He had Stewart breaking down the middle of the Tampa Bay zone, but couldn't quite get it over there. And now this puck over the glass and out of play.
Oh, they're going to look at this one.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay players are saying that was shot from inside the Buffalo line.
Yeah.
Yep.
It is going to be a penalty. I didn't see what happened there. The puck must have flipped up on Weber. I'm not quite sure. I was looking up the ice, but Weber's going to circle back here. Was he inside his own zone? No, he's not inside.
No, he's not.
He's not inside his own zone.
Wow, that was a great, initially I thought he wasn't. Oh, you know why? Because that's where he ends up. But he didn't shoot it from there.
No, exactly.
Well, there's a good case for the coach's challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Well, to see that everybody on the bench just saw it, and that's what everybody's yelling about. He was not inside the zone. The puck did flip up a little bit, and it definitely caught in the curve of his stick, and he hoisted it right over the glass. But, yeah, the referees and linesmen, they conferred for a second and went, yeah, okay, it went straight over the glass, but they missed that one. Boy,
this puts the very dangerous Tampa Bay power play on the ice for the first time tonight. Operating at just over 24%, third in the league. And this Lightning power play on a 4-game streak. They've scored at least one power play goal in 4 straight. 5 goals with a man advantage total over that time as Stamkos settles it down in the corner, drops it back for Hedman. Hedman straight away. He goes back to Stamkos from inside the circle and just blew it up over top of the net. Now it comes back to the line. Hedman for Stamkos, top of the circle, lets it go. That was blocked by Georgian. Now across for Hedman again. Hedman switching places now with Filppula as the puck rolls down deep. Callahan into the boards by Myers. Now Brett Conley getting in on Josh Georges. Stamkos sends it around. Hedman out to the line. Filppula, good job to hold it in. Less than a minute remaining in the second period. Now Filppula straight away. Hedman, far side. They fake the shot. And Filppula was stopped by the left pad of Jonas Enroth.
Beautiful puck movement, the one-touch pass there from Stamkos.
Hedman far side. Stamkos Willis. Stamkos straight away for Filppula. Filppula hands it back off now for Stamkos, top of the far circle. Side of the net for Callahan, tried to pull it back to the backhand. Now Conley tried to bank it off of Enroth. Puck comes free for Stamkos, under 20 seconds remaining in the Tampa man advantage, and just over 20 seconds remaining in the period. Here's Filppula, takes it down to the hash marks. Straight away for Hedman, lets it go, redirected wide off the stick of Callahan. Angled out to off the boards, and the Sabres able to finally get it clear as the penalty to Weber is over.
Well done by Buffalo. Tyler Myers did a really good job down low right near the front of the net there. Callahan with a couple of one-touches, but never had much chance to work with the puck, all because Myers played him tough.
Well, a complete turnaround in terms of the shots on goal. As Tyler Myers and the Sabres spent much more of that period in their own zone as we get ready for the Discover Card second intermission. Catherine Chapman, Mike Milbury, and JR. Enroth standing tall for the Sabres, and an interview with Jake Voracek of the struggling Philadelphia Flyers, currently out of a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Scoreless at the end of 40 minutes. The intermission report right after this. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by the Discover It card. It's a game changer. Back in Buffalo, the French connection line that terrorized a lot of defensemen during the 1970s. One of those defensemen was Brian Engblom, and he's inside the glass.
Yeah, some of those nightmares never go away. Those guys were pretty good. Well, Tampa was pretty good in their own zone in the second period, too. We talked about their offensive chances, but look at the coverage here inside their own zone. Everybody back helping out. Watch the defenseman track the play here. Gudas to the front of the net with a little man-on-man. Well done there. Keeping Buffalo to the outside, turning pucks over, and then turning it back the other way. Good solid defense in their own zone. That led to a breakaway chance for Callahan. And we'll see which team is better in their own end here in this third period. Still 0-0.
Brian, you played on some great Montreal teams there in the late 70s, and there had to be nights like this where it was a challenge. You're playing against on paper, an inferior team, a team that doesn't score a lot, but yet they're able to kind of shut the game down. Yeah,
that's exactly what's happened here. But, again, Buffalo much improved. So Tampa hasn't played them yet this year. They play against each other again, these two teams, in just a couple of days down in Tampa. And Tampa will know exactly how much better Buffalo is than advertised throughout the first month and a half or so of the season. And probably be a different game, but this one has been very close to the vest for sure.
Palat lobs it back into the Buffalo zone, picked up by Johnson, gets a shot away, missed the net.
That one flipped up on its edge, but he was trying to go top shelf, far side.
Edmund hammers it back into the Buffalo zone, Georges, and he just works that out toward center ice, and it bounced off a glove and out of play.
Tyler Johnson, a threat always on the puck, always anticipating. See how the puck is rolling a little bit there? He just wants to throw that one. Maybe you get a big rebound off the shoulder of the goaltender and maybe a second chance.
Tyler Johnson, a fourth-year pro from Spokane, Washington. Was terrific in the American Hockey League. Led the American Hockey League in goals and in play. It was a playoff MVP back in 2013 with Syracuse. Now he's come up, and we mentioned earlier in the telecast a finalist for the Calder Trophy that was won, of course, by Colorado's Nathan MacKinnon. But both Johnson and Palat, the other finalists for that award, says a lot about the depth, the drafting of this Tampa Bay organization.
Give him some time in the American League. It's always the best way. And, of course, John Cooper came from there, too. So now that a handful of these players and some of his cornerstone players he had in the American League, he knows how to handle them from there, too. So they both come up at the same time.
Nabokov playing it along the boards. Doesn't come out as Strachan slides it across. Weber with a shot saved by Nabokov. Now Stewart and Hedman came together on the far side, and the Lightning able to get it out to center ice, and quickly the Lightning want to make a change, as the Sabres are. And Strachan works it back into the Tampa Bay zone. Stewart tried to get it to the front. Strawman is pressured along the boards, and now Filppula for Hedman, and he'll just hammer it back inside the Buffalo line. Tyson Strachan drops it back. Now Mike Weber flips it deep into the zone, starting to go after it. Barberio able to get it ahead for Namestnikov, who just there's a back out to center ice, and the Sabres will fire it right back in. Now Filppula angles it up the near side. Vladdy Namestnikov sends it across. Radko Gudas with a shot that's blocked up on the netting and out of play. Again, a reminder of the upcoming games right here on NBCSN. Coming up next, the Flyers and the Sharks. A couple of teams struggling to find their game in their respective conferences. Wednesday night rivalry, a terrific matchup between the Blues and the Blackhawks, beginning at 7 Eastern tomorrow on the NHL Network, with Dallas and Detroit Thursday night. Last look, Dallas losing 4-1 in Toronto. The Stars have been a little puzzling in terms of their struggles under the former longtime Buffalo head coach Lindy Ruff. Now it comes to center. It could be a 2-on-1 here. Carl, the only defender back, and a pass across for Kaleta. Did not hit the stick. It took a little while to unfold there, and it was the youngster Schaller that had the opportunity, along with Kaleta.
He was driving the whole way. He wasn't looking past or thinking past. He was looking down at his stick and the defender's stick, trying to drive to the net. He got there. I'm not sure exactly how that one was saved. I assume it went off in the Nabokov, but from this angle, I didn't get a good look at how Schaller's shot actually went.
Now back out to center ice, the Sabres. coming off that scoring chance, trying to build some momentum, and the play is offside.
A couple of times in this game, Buffalo Sabres forwards have gotten 2-on-1s because of the aggressiveness. And you can see the defense getting caught up on the play there. And then Schaller drives in. Well, maybe it was a pass across there
at the very
last second to... Oh, well, no, that's a shot. He's trying to go for the far side. I guess only he knows. To me, the second look, that looked like a shot. It just missed on the far side. But they caught the defense standing up there. That was Garrison that got caught up in the play for Tampa. And Schaller just missing on that far side.
Saw his numbers in the American Hockey League this year with Rochester as the puck is cleared back. Now Hedman for Palat. Off the stick of Molson. And the Sabres get it into the Tampa zone. And the Lightning get it right back. Stralman's pass intercepted right back on the counterattack. Ennis hands it off. Molson with a shot and a glove save by Evgeny Nabokov.
Oh, a poor pass by Stralman coming out of the zone, and well read by Buffalo. The top line of the Sabres out there turned the puck over, and they get a terrific chance there. Ennis with a really smart play got it to Molson. They've scored 18 of the 40 goals so far this season for Buffalo. That was Ennis stealing the puck, gets it to Molson. He's on his forehand, and I believe this one was deflected at the last second, rode off the shaft of the stick. And I think Hedman got a piece of that.
Off the faceoff, and Nabokov felt that puck hit him. And it's sent back the other way into the Buffalo zone, and Enroth will cover it up here.
Steven Stamkos' game has had to change. He played so long with Marty St. Louis, and they were so dynamic all over the ice, but particularly on the rush. I talked to John Cooper about Stamkos' change. Now he's playing with Killorn and Callahan, who are two completely different types of players. So he said Stamkos has had to make a lot of adjustments. And yeah, they do a lot more cycling and sustained pressure inside the zone, which is different than his Stamkos Marty St. Louis day.
Oh, this puck takes a strange hop off the stanchion, came back in front of a nearly empty net, and now back the other way. The Lightning got that bullet here. Stamkos trying to get free from Gianta. It's going to be a penalty coming here, I believe, against Gianta for hooking.
As soon as you get on the hands at all, Gianta was tracking Stamkos as he doubled back through the middle of the ice, and that is a hooking penalty. So the power play gets another chance here for Tampa. Gianta knew it right away. He looked over at the referees. Stamkos is so good in traffic. One of the many things that he does. See there? And there's the hook on the hands of the stick. Stamkos gets his stick free, but it's enough for the hooking call.
So Teddy Nolan's squad will face this Tampa Bay power play for the second time tonight. Lightning managed just 2 shots with that first power play that came as a result of that delay of game, which the replay showed was not the correct call.
We got 4 forwards on here. Stamkos lining up in the blue line, but he'll be all over the place. He'll circle around everywhere.
That puck deflected over the short glass on the far side and out of play.
21 goals on the season on the power play. One of the best, 3rd best in the National Hockey League. You compare that to Buffalo's 5 goals. Boy, that's a lot of wins. That's a big difference just on power play goals alone. 21-5.
And we saw Steven Stamkos there. And just to follow up on what you were saying about John Cooper in your conversation with him this morning, he went on to say that with Stamkos and St. Louis, he said it almost didn't matter who the other forward was. It was a 2-man game. But he said the way the game is played now with Killorn and Callahan, it really is important.
Killorn's made a big difference on that line. He really hunts the puck. So does Callahan.
Hedman with a shot through traffic, and it skipped just wide. Hedman hustles over to keep it alive. Hands it off on the far side for Filppula. Now Terry Filppula protects, goes back up the wall, but Hedman, even with his long reach, couldn't get there to hold it in. And the Lightning have to come back and regroup. Halfway through the Gianta minor penalty. Now it comes to Conley. Conley takes it wide and chips it along. Now Georges able to find an open teammate, and the puck is cleared all the way back down the ice.
Good penalty killing here by Buffalo. Not giving up anything in the middle of the ice. Not giving any good looks.
Stralman for Palat off his stick and backhanded by Flynn. He took a hit, but he made the play. And the Lightning back inside their own zone. 6 minutes gone by here in the third period. It is still scoreless in Buffalo. Tyler Johnson takes it wide. Angles it around the boards now for Palat. Straight away for Stralman. Gets the return pass. Stralman hammers one here through traffic. Kucherov might have got a piece of that. Now it comes back to number 86. Kucherov sends it across. And a shot here by Johnson, and he missed trying to go high glove.
There's no way Enroth would have seen that one. Johnson just missed it. There was only a little corner open top shelf. I could look right over his shoulder, and he missed the target.
Now Tyler Johnson entering the zone with Palat and Kucherov. Puck knocked away, bounces into the blue paint, and the Sabres get to it first. And it's set ahead to Brian Gianta, who has served his minor penalty. Takes it wide with speed and off the right pad of Nabokov. Now Foligno. Marcus Foligno out near the line. Being pestered there by Brian Boyle. The puck recovered by Garrison. Hands it off now for Carl. Now it comes to Boyle. Backhands it ahead for Brown. He hands it off for Conley. Conley with a shot through the legs of the defenseman Myers, but it went wide out the far side. Brett Conley with it again. Backhands it on the cycle now for Carl, the defenseman in deep. Now at the side of the net, Boyle put it right through the blue paint. Comes all the way to the near side. Goes back where Boyle picks it up again. Straight away for Garrison. Sends it across now for Carl. Carl with that shot that didn't get much on it. And it deflects harmlessly underneath the goaltender, Enroth. 12-14 remaining in the third. Still looking for our first goal in this one. Scoreless in Buffalo. A reminder to watch the NHL on NBC Live on your laptop, tablet, or smartphone with NBC Sports Live Extra. Download the app or go to NBC Sports Live Extra and watch the biggest events anywhere, anytime. Dave Strader, Brian Engblom, the rest of our crew here in Buffalo. Scoreless between the Sabres, the lowest scoring team in the league, and the Tampa Bay Lightning, the highest scoring team in the league. As Molson being bothered there by Barberio, number 8, the defenseman for Tampa Bay. Now Killorn played it off the wall, chipped ahead by Stamkos, trying to get to it. Putting pressure there on Tyler Myers, but Myers with that long reach able to recover, and Ennis redirects it in toward Nabokov. Trying to settle it down there for Radko Gudas, who did not get it by Molson. Now Girgensons with a stick on it. Pass to the front, Killorn was there. And Stamkos will just lay it back into the Buffalo zone and head to the bench on a change for Tampa. Angled off the boards, out of the reach of Brian Flynn. And the Lightning, Matt Carl. Counterattack into the Buffalo zone with a shot into the glove of Enroth. He will hold it there.
Dave, we just saw a play that Teddy Nolan used in the Olympics. A face-off coming out of their own zone, and they'll make a line change. A guy will come off the ice on the right side of your screen, and then Ennis, see, right off the bench, right there. He goes in one door, and Tyler Ennis is coming out the other door.
That's right.
They did that in the Olympics, and it turned into a goal for Latvia. It didn't work in this one, but Teddy Nolan's got a few tricks up his sleeve.
They did that against Team Canada in that near epic upset in Sochi.
Yeah, it's a set play, and every once in a while it'll work. And Ennis jumped out actually a little bit early. It was close to too many men on the ice because he came out right in front of me. It was easy for me to notice it from down here, but that was set up right off the face-off. They knew exactly what they wanted to do.
A little bit more dangerous in Sochi, where the benches and the doors were cut in different parts of the ice, Brian, than they are in the NHL rink.
Yeah, exactly. Plus the ice is wider. What you're trying to do is catch the defenseman of Tampa sleeping and not realizing that the guy is making a line change behind you.
And the goaltender that nearly pulled the upset for Latvia, Gudlevskis, is a Tampa Bay prospect currently playing in the American League with Syracuse.
Right. Yeah.
Now we'll lose puck, picked up by Tyler Johnson, closing in, Wade centering, pass, score! Andre Palat got a stick on it, and the Lightning have the first goal of this game.
Create a hole and fill a hole on the fly. Terrific job by the Johnson line, and Palat ends up putting the puck in the back of the net. Watch Weber, number 6, a defenseman for Buffalo. He comes across on Kucherov. That creates a hole for Johnson coming down. And that was another situation, Dave, where I thought, oh, man, I can't believe he didn't shoot that one. But that one turns out to be a great play because he puts it in the crease area. And Enroth gets a piece of it, but it goes off the heel of his stick, and the timing pattern for Palat gives him an empty netter.
7th of the season for Palat. We talked about that line, Brian, at the top of the show, as the Stamkos, Killorn, Callahan line, limited to a total of 4 shots and just 1 assist that Stamkos had to keep his point streak alive. But even with that line shut down offensively, the Lightning still able to score 6 at Madison Square Garden.
Yes, 6 points for the Johnson line last night.
And here they are again, putting on some pressure in the Buffalo zone. Foligno able to get to it and angles it out to center ice. Ooh, look out, Tyler Johnson just got his head up.
Quick. That was pure reaction. Strachan coming across on him.
He'll head to the bench. Tyler Johnson replaced by Stamkos as that top line gets back out. Now Stamkos takes a look across. Barberio moved in. He tries to get it back to somebody in front of the Buffalo net.
The Tampa defense are really aggressive in the offensive zone. There's good rotation. Forwards go up and cover for them, but they move down from the blue line like Barberio did.
There's a shot that is knocked out down by Enroth and recovered by the Sabres. And back out to center ice. Stamkos there to get it. Callahan forced back center ice. Now a loose puck back in the Buffalo zone. Girgenson's back to get it. Tyler Ennis pressured by Carl, spins away, lost his footing, and he was able to recover. And now the Sabres send it back into the Tampa Bay zone, and Jason Garrison hustling back to play it. Moves it along for Conley. 1-0 Lightning. Andre Palat, 7th of the year. As Conley now redirects this puck into the Buffalo zone. Tyler Myers with it. Pressured by Brown. Still able to play it ahead. Garrison blocks it. Doesn't connect there with Boyle. And this will be icing against the Lightning.
Watch Tyler Johnson on his last shift. Just pure reaction. He senses danger as Strachan steps up on him, and he just ducked it. He's much shorter. Tyson Strachan does a good job. He anticipates Johnson coming across. Johnson was away from the puck. Strachan was moving on him as he was getting it, and Johnson just sensed him coming, ducked and swiveled and got out of the way, or he would have gotten whacked big time by Strachan. Good plays by both guys.
Face off in the Tampa zone. Torrey Mitchell for the Sabres. Brian Boyle wins it though for the Lightning. And Garrison tries to angle it up the near boards. Gets it all the way down inside the Buffalo line. Ristolainen now for Flynn. Rides it across. Backhand ahead now for Giante. Hands it off for Flynn. Closing in on the backhand. Trying to stuff it up on the short side. It's covered up by Nabokov. 7:37 remaining in the third. Andre Palat finally getting a goal as the Lightning with a 1-0 lead. Jonas Enroth on the left has stopped 22 of 23 Tampa Bay shots. The one that beat him off the stick of Andre Palat you saw there on the right.
Buffalo's done a much better job in the face-off circle. After 2 periods, 57% for Buffalo. They've struggled in that area the last couple of games, and that means puck possession.
This is the start of 6 consecutive games for Tampa Bay, Brian, against teams that are out of the playoffs in the Eastern Conference. Although this game is a great example, and Carolina defeated Nashville tonight. Great examples that you don't ever take anybody lightly in this league, but Lightning perhaps with an opportunity. There's a shot here was stopped by Nabokov.
Good play by Zadorov to jump up on the play there. He ended up on a bad angle, but he did the right thing and got to the net. They're being aggressive. You're showing the confidence level of the Buffalo Sabres. They're going to need it down a goal.
And Ross steers it aside. You mentioned, Brian, that the Sabres will play in Tampa in a couple of nights, and then it's Columbus, Washington, and Carolina coming into Tampa before the Lightning head out of the road, starting a road trip in Washington. Then you and I will see them in Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks on a Monday night. That should be a terrific contest.
High-power matchup there.
Tyler Johnson, who set up the only goal of this game, fires a shot high and wide, and now Barberio tries to send it along, but it doesn't get through. And the Sabres back the other way. Delorier out here on a line with Schaller and Coletta. And Tyler Myers back to get it, but Ted Nolan making a quick change after getting the fourth line out there. Now the Lightning recover as Carl tries to send it to the front. It was blocked. Tyler Ennis knocked away by Carl. Picked up backhand shot by Palat. Didn't get through. Now Ennis again trying to find an opening, and this time he does. Palat right back on the attack. Shot was blocked, and it's hunted down by the Sabres. And now to Molson at center ice. Flips it back into the Tampa Bay zone. Zemgus Girgensons the first one on it. Speaking of the Latvian Olympic team, of course, Girgensson, one of the better players on that gritty and gutsy Latvian team that nearly upset Team Canada. As Callahan sends it along. Referee trying to get out of the way as Garrison, the Tampa Bay defenseman, was looking to clear it. And now it deflects back wide of the Buffalo goal and recovered now by Ristolainen. Zadorov sends it back on the near side, slapped away from Foligno. Knocked down by Ristolainen, and Boyle nearly able to break with it. Now Foligno puts it into the Tampa zone. Hedman for Stralman. Lays it up the far side for Callahan. Callahan's pass for Killorn does not connect. It's off the wall right in on Enroth, and he has to cover up. We will step aside one more time with 4:46 remaining in the third. The Lightning with a 1-0 lead over the Sabres. Philadelphia coming into action tonight, 7 points out of the last playoff spot.
Maybe a West Coast road trip is just what the doctor ordered for them.
And San Jose not in a playoff spot in the West either. I don't know that a West Coast trip would ever be what the doctor ordered in terms of trying to make up points.
It was for
you never
last
know.
Year.
Yeah, you know, you're right.
Last year they went on a West Coast trip, and they felt like that's where they really started to turn it on because they had a terrible start to the season last year. They're hoping to recreate that again.
And I remember the Washington Capitals did the same thing as much as they were struggling. Ristolainen with a shot that doesn't get through, and now Gianta tries to get it in front. He does, and a save made by Nabokov on a bang-bang play at the front of the net.
Gianta's made some good plays. He and the Flynn combination have got some good shots and some good looks at the net. That was a quick play.
Now Gianta for Flynn, who had that opportunity. Another chance here was stopped by Nabokov, and he will cover up with just under 4 minutes remaining here in the third. And players getting together.
Yeah, they've controlled the puck well. They've had good, close, quick support, and some nice plays by Gianta, and several of them have been. That one's just getting to the net quickly. Oh, boy, that was really close. Gianta just whacking it. It goes right to the stick of Flynn, and Tampa was slow in reacting to get anybody there in time. Real close.
Face-off control by Buffalo. A shot hammer here. Save made. Rebound. And score! Zemgus Girgensson just under the crossbar, and Buffalo has tied it.
Well, we saw a trick play off a face-off in the defensive zone, and this is just good, solid face-off work for Buffalo right off the draw. They're going to win it and get it back to the point. They've improved in this area tonight in a big way. D-to-D shot on net, a bouncing puck, and Girgensson gets it on the second whack, and this one really a lot of action. Look at this. It's bouncing, goes right over the top of one stick. It's actually partially deflected as Filppula gets his stick there, and that may have helped it for Girgensson as it went off of the stick, and Girgensson gets it under the bar. The big line comes through for Buffalo.
I wonder how many more Latvians are on their computers voting for Zemgus Girgensson for the All-Star game.
That's right. He'll stay #1 for another week, maybe.
So after Brian Flynn had that terrific opportunity, Girgensons able to beat Nabokov. We have a 1-1 game with 3.5 remaining. Now a turnover. Killorn's shot deflects all the way back into the Tampa Bay zone. Victor Hedman pushes it ahead. Side of the Buffalo net. Zadorov plays it around for Foligno. Ristolainen plays it ahead. Foligno cuts to the middle, backhand, and that deflected off of Hodgson and went wide. And then Foligno lost an edge on his skate, went down hard, and it's back the other way, just out of the reach of Tyler Johnson. And the puck does not go out of play. And now it does go up on the netting. Looking at that Buffalo bench, I thought that puck had gone up into the players' bench, but it was still alive.
Big goal for the psyche of the Buffalo Sabres, who continue to play the way they have over the last half dozen games, having come in, winning 5 of their last 6 games. That's a huge goal for them. They showed hustle at the right times. We talked about their improved play inside their own zone. Now the game on the line with less than 3 to go, tied 1-1.
Girgensons, who just scored that tying goal, won the draw in his own zone from Boyle. It comes to Tyler Ennis, who will angle it into all the boards below the goal line. The Lightning get to it. Boyle sends it across now for J.T. Brown. Brown turns and flips it back into the Buffalo end. Cedric Paquette with a shot that is steered aside by Enroth. The puck comes right back into the crease area, was covered up. And now we get some pushing and shoving as Girgensons shoves one of the Lightning players down to the ice. And we have not seen much of this at all.
Yeah, Molson was in there. I think it was Paquette who went down on the ice. Girgensons in there. Molson. Just good, tough play around the net. Enroth smothers this play in Tampa. Good net front presence. Oh, there's a shot to the side of the head of Paquette. That's what Paquette was upset about.
Yeah, right there. That was Weber.
Yep. And then Girgensons comes in and helps clean out the front of the bench. In front of the net, rather. A lot of talk from the Buffalo bench to Brian Boyle and a few others as there was a line change right in front of me as well.
Stamkos against Mitchell. Murray Mitchell and his line mates have done a terrific job. Mitchell won that draw. Now Flynn plays it back into the Tampa Bay end. Mitchell battling there against Stralman. The puck goes free to the far side. Callahan getting some help now from Hedman, who pushes it ahead for Stamkos. Stamkos drops it back. Stralman now for Hedman across the line. He sends it across. It bounces off of Callahan, who will chase it down the corner. Callahan sends it out to Stralman with a shot. Change direction, goes just wide.
All you have to do is get it in the zip code around Stamkos, and he gets a stick on it. He redirected that one about 45 degrees.
And Roth out of the net to settle it down. 1:45 remaining in regulation time. 1-1 is our score. Intercepted by Carl in the neutral zone. Carl starts it back the other way, rolls it in toward the Buffalo net. Hodgson trying to be strong with Kucherov. Did a good job with that, and now Tyler Myers picks it up for Buffalo. Oh, nice little fake pass and a spin. And Palat trying to make him pay for hanging out of the puck. As it rolls out to the line and now to center ice. Foligno sends it across for Cody Hodgson. Trying to cut around Johnson. Sent it to the front, knocked away by the goal stick of Nabokov. Out to the line now it comes to Ristolainen. He tries to move along against Kucherov. Ristolainen keeping it alive now. Kucherov got a stick on it. It bounces out between the circles in front of Nabokov, and puck was played with a high stick.
Steven Stamkos, one of the top scorers every year for good reason. Watch 91 in front of the net there. I don't know if it was a stick. Maybe it was his foot. It looked like his stick from where I was. Yeah, it was his stick. And look at him change the direction on that. That was a nasty change of direction. A smart shot by Stralman. Might have even been a double deflection, and Enroth watches it go wide. Since the 09-10 season, that guy scored 225 goals. That's more than anybody else in the league.
Has a 60-goal season on his resume. Now out to Hedman. Hedman's shot was blocked by Ennis. And Strawman backing up, gives it back to his defense partner, Victor Hedman. Half a minute remaining in regulation time. And this puck played with a high stick again. And we'll have a face-off outside the Buffalo zone.
Matt Molson's done a good job in this game. The big lines come through with some good plays. They play against the top lines and top D pairs. All season long, it was a real slow start for Molson, but he has come on like most of the Sabres have offensively as the season's gone on, particularly the last 10 games or so.
Tyler Myers and Josh Georges, the defense pairing on the ice when the goal was scored, got the assist, by the way, as Killorn now on the angle, and Enroth, that got through. He made the save. And the linesman fell down over there and struggled to get back up to make sure he could still make a proper call as Stamkos' pass is deflected out to the line and is held in by Hedman. Hedman hands it off under 10 seconds remaining. Here's Stamkos with a shot. He hit the goal post. Rebound is loose and covered up by Enroth. Well, the referee right now is making sure that it is Enroth that has it covered because there's other Buffalo players there. And, of course, if you're not the goaltender and you cover it up in the crease, that's a penalty shot. And I think that's what the official was looking closely at to make sure that it was Enroth that had it covered, Brian.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Dave. Stamkos, so good. Sweeping out from behind the net. Teddy Nolan, the Buffalo coach, talked about that, how dangerous he is, because he's looking up the ice, and then he all of a sudden fires it. See, he's looking in the middle, and he knows like radar where that net is. He missed that from a half an inch. He's looking in the middle, then he shifts his focus squarely off the goalpost. Enroth hears it. Oh, it hits him in the back of the shoulder, too. That's terrific reaction by Enroth.
4.9 seconds remaining in regulation. Brian Boyle against Girgensons on this draw. Comes back to Stamkos, slides it across. One-timer and a save by Enroth. With 0.3 seconds, he took a peek over his shoulder.
Key face-offs, and this was a pretty clean draw by Tampa. And they executed exactly the way you're supposed to. You get it to Hedman in the middle of the ice. Everybody contributing on this one. 4 different guys touching the puck. Enroth checks over shoulder. Nope, I got it.
0.3 seconds, and that's going to do it. We are headed to overtime. No goals through the first 40 minutes. Then Palat for Tampa Bay, Girgensons for Buffalo. We'll have overtime when we come back. All right, Catherine, thanks very much. Both of these teams have gone beyond regulation 5 times. And for both Tampa Bay and Buffalo,
he very nearly ended it, though, didn't he? Oh,
yeah.
Less than 5 seconds to go. That Stamkos shot from a bad angle, all that traffic. Enroth probably never even saw it until he heard it. Terrific reaction, though. As soon as he heard it, he knew he had to get turned around quickly, and he got it.
Both teams with 3-2 records in games they played beyond regulation. Teddy Nolan starting out with Zemgus Girgensons, Tyler Ennis, Nikita Zadorov, and Ristolainen, number 55. John Cooper with Palat, Johnson, Carl, and Garrison. The 4 skaters to start overtime. Here comes Ennis. Being watched by Garrison. Ennis lost his edge, and now the Lightning able to take it back the other way. Here's Palat, who had the Tampa Bay goal in regulation, hands it off. Garrison with a shot, and he fired it wide. Recovered by Tyler Johnson, skates it all the way back center ice.
Tyler Johnson is always on the move. He covers all 200 feet every shift out there.
Now Palat didn't get it deep. He drops it back to complete the first change for the Tampa Bay Lightning here in the overtime. Here's Hedman. Hedman takes it wide. Around Molson. Centering pass off a stick out to the line. Now Stamkos hands it off for Callahan. Callahan turns.
I got him.
And bothered there by Ristolainen. Now it goes off the skate of Molson. Recovered by Hedman again. Now Stamkos back to the line. Hedman, good job to keep it away from Molson. Now a pass intended for Stamkos, hit a stick. Picked up by Anton Strawman. Strawman with a shot to the net. And Roth the save.
He was going for the redirect there off of Stamkos, the stick.
Now both teams looking to make their change. Again, the long change here in overtime, but back the other way in the counterattack. Here comes Flynn. Flynn sets it across the chance here on the Nabokov, fired up high and wide. That was Tyler Myers that had that opportunity as Callahan.
It was kind of a late change that set that up, Dave. Ryan Flynn was late coming off the bench. It was actually a bad change for Buffalo. Turned out good, and Myers jumped up on the play.
Now Flynn backhands it through the goal mouth, and it bounces off the boards and all the way out to center right. So Myers has the angle. Being bothered by Kucherov, but a nice little escape move there by Myers. He's going to try to go end-to-end with a shot. Saved Nabokov. The puck not cleared completely away. Now it goes to the far boards. Now it comes across for Zadorov. He chips it along. And the Lightning able to get it back.
Boy, another dynamic shift by Tyler Myers. What a rush that was. He has really covered a lot of ground with the puck in this game. Very nearly scored, and that was a terrific one-on-one rush.
Now Killorn takes it wide. Alex Killorn looking to the front. Walks it up the wall and now drops it back off. Here's Carl, sends it across. Off a stick. Recovered by Killorn. Hit to the boards there by Zadorov. Now Killorn again. Hands it off to Garrison. Garrison looks. Shot pass to the front. He was looking for Carl. Now Killorn with it again. Across for Carl. Hands it off to Namestnikov. Namestnikov turns to his forehand. Hands it off and gets it back on the give and go. Namestnikov now heat fan as he tried to give it back. And Zadorov able to get it to Ristolainen. Takes it deep into the Tampa zone. Ristolainen gets it out front. Right to the net off the stick of Georges and a glove save by Nabokov.
Let's take a look at Tyler Myers' last shift out there. Really dynamic. Good stuff jumping up on the play. The second one is one-on-one, and he just flying through the neutral zone. We've slowed it down here for you, but look at that. Really nice moves there, and a terrific shot on net. Prior to that, there's the line change one that I was talking about. That was Flynn that passed him the puck. Flynn came right off the bench, took it to the far side, and Myers jumped up on the play.
Well, he looked like the Calder Trophy winner from the 09-10 season when he had the 11 goals and 48 points. As the Sabres forced to go back behind their own net. To take a good look at Josh Georges coming out. Georges chips it along now for Torrey Mitchell. Mitchell with a shot into the glove, and Nabokov, he'll hold it there.
Myers is really fast and really smooth for a guy that's his size. That's the interesting thing to watch. Some of these big guys in the National Hockey League. Hedman's like that too. Really long, tall guys, but terrific stride. They've been coached so well in the skating aspect of the game, and they both have been dynamic at their times, carrying the puck nearly coast to coast.
Myers listed at 6'8", Hedman at 6'6", and we're going to get a timeout called here.
And Dave, I think you hit it on the head. Myers looks a lot more in these last few games and weeks, really, the way he did his Calder winning year when he was Rookie of the Year. He's got great offensive skills. I've mentioned it before, the fact that when you play defense on a team that loses a lot of games and you're a cornerstone guy, which he is, it becomes very difficult because you start to try to do too much. You start running around trying to put out fires, trying to use your skill as best you can, then realize it's not going anywhere good. And then you just, cut your game down and simplify because that's what you're taught to do. And next thing you know, people say, well, look, he's not even trying. He's not doing anything. So it's kind of you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
A reminder, NHL doubleheader continues next here on NBCSN. Claude Giroux and the Flyers take on Logan Couture and the San Jose Sharks. Flyers Sharks coming up next right here on NBCSN. As soon as we're done with this one, we'll send you out to the Bay Area. As Hedman plays it along, but it's blocked by Gianta. Sends it back in deep. Now it comes out to Josh Georges. Now Strawman had it, lost it. Here's Flynn. Flynn gets it back to the front. It bounces off a skate. Picked up now by Josh Georges. Closing in. He just tried to find a stick or even a skate to bounce it off, perhaps to create a scoring chance. And back in wide of the Tampa goal. What a good job here by Buffalo. This last minute or so of this overtime. Now Georges moves it along, 25 seconds remaining in the overtime period. Here comes Victor Hedman with it. Hands it off for Stamkos. Watched by Ennis. Ennis takes the puck away. Turns it back now for Gergensen. Gergensen trying to get around Hedman. He comes in. Nabokov the save. He juggles, but he dropped it right off to Hedman. Not much time remaining. It comes to Stamkos. 3 seconds. Stamkos cutting in, and Tyler Myers took it away as time runs out in overtime. We are headed to the shootout, but right now, let's go back to the studio and Catherine Tappan.
Well, Dave, a reminder, puck drop about 5 minutes away in San Jose as Logan Couture, 21 points on the season, and the San Jose Sharks get set to host the Philadelphia Flyers. We will bring it to you immediately at the conclusion of the Sabres and Lightning. Dave, back to you.
All right, Catherine, thank you very much. Getting ready now for the shootout.
It came right down to the very end, though, Dave. Everybody was yelling at Stamkos. I don't think Stamkos knew the time was running out. He was trying to take it to the net and wouldn't have made it. But Tyler Myers made sure. Watch Myers take the angle on him and then use that long reach. That is a terrific defensive play against one of the best goal scorers in the National Hockey League. And that's how overtime ended. We're going to shootout.
Now, Steven Stamkos and the Lightning. This will be their 4th shootout. They've won only 1, lost 2. And Evgeny Nabokov facing a Buffalo team that is 3-1 in the 4 shootouts that they've participated in. Cody Hotson, just 1 goal on the season. This could go a long ways, perhaps to help his confidence. In against Nabokov. To the backhand, he scores!
Nice smooth move there by Hodgson. Showed Nabokov about 3 or 4 different looks. Looked like he was going to pull the trigger. Held on, and Nabokov just couldn't quite get over there on the stick side. Nice job there by Hodgson.
Andre Palat, who had the goal for Tampa in regulation, moves into the backhand, and then Ross says no.
Enroth very quick, but he doesn't make the first move here. Palat's trying to give a couple of fakes. Enroth goes with him slowly, shuts down the 5-hole, makes it look easy.
Tyler Ennis against Nabokov. Score!
Oh, the quick hands of Ennis. This is a terrific shot. You see players make this shift like they're going to make a backhand forehand move. He just pulls it to his forehand and pulls the trigger so quickly it just froze Nabokov.
Callahan must score here or Buffalo wins. Callahan moves in. Save Enroth. So after sweeping Montreal, Buffalo defeats Tampa in a shootout by the final score of 2-1. So 6 wins in 7 games now for the Buffalo Sabres. Zemgus Girgensons, the hero in regulation, getting the tying goal. And Jonas Enroth, who has just been spectacular since replacing the injured Michael Neuberg at the end of the first period of a game 2 weeks ago tonight here against San Jose. Well, the Buffalo Sabres in the first of 5 meetings against Tampa win it by a score of 2-1 in the shootout. Let's go down to Brian Ekblad.
Tyler, this was a heck of a hockey game. You guys have won 6 of your last 7 now. When did you start to feel it really turn in your favor and you guys start playing better?
I don't know if there was any specific moment, but you know, we stuck with the process, and over a few games we started to figure out, you know, how to play to be successful, and we've carried that through here recently, and we just got to keep working to improve. There's, you know, we're playing a lot better, but there's still some areas where we can clean up, and it's just a matter of trying to improve every day.
You guys have done a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So the Sabres win it in a shootout by a final score of 2-1. For Brian Engblom, I'm Dave Strader. Thanks for joining us. Stay with us. We send you out to San Jose. Let's join Randy Hahn.